Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. My special guest today is soprano Golda Zahra. She is critically acclaimed as one of the rising stars of her generation and a promising young opera singer by the Los Angeles Times. And she was hailed as the rising star of the opera world, the Hollywood Times. And these two publications definitely know what they're talking about. Welcome back, Golda.
Wonderful to be back.
Does it ever get tiring hearing those compliments about you?
Yeah, I wish it
Yeah.
did. Doesn't.
Thank you for being
It's
honest.
yeah.
Why? Yeah, that's got to feel so
It
good.
makes me red sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah. Well, it's well deserved. You've worked hard for it. Just take it. Just take it all in. All your accolades and your flowers at the concerts, all the flowers people bring you.
All the flowers. Oh my goodness. They're too generous, honestly, when I think about it.
Mm. Well, Golda kicks off a dynamic concert series with four performances throughout Los Angeles this summer. And I encourage you, I'm going to give out all the information again at the end here. But you want to see Golda in concert. She is my new word, spectacular. She's amazing. There's nothing better to do on a nice warm summer night than to go listen to some beautiful music.
And we have a dessert reception also.
Oh
So
my God, I was going to mention that, but what is like the dessert table after your
I
show?
know. I
Almost
want to
if
mention
it
that
went
on
from one
purpose.
end of the building out the building, there were servers outside bringing pastries and
If you don't come for the music, at least come for the food.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about it, but I'm like, oh my, I don't want to embarrass anyone. Man, it was good. It's incredible. Supplied by Earth Cafe,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
correct.
yeah. And some cheeses from actually the Beverly Hills cheese store.
Oh, I love that store.
I love oh,
Have you ever gone to their back room? Have they ever taken you back there where they've got these wine where they had the wine barrels and they cut it's like a private
yes,
little room?
I have, but because I'm from Beverly Hills. I grew up in Beverly Hills,
Uh-huh.
and they moved their original location. They used to be on North Beverly Drive, and
Yeah, a little
now
shop.
they're on Santa Monica Boulevard. So they don't have
Bigger store.
bigger store. They now have sandwiches. It's fantastic. This is not a plug, but I love them.
Yeah, I
I
love them too,
love
and
the
that
Beverly
family.
Hills
But
store.
I heard the family sold. Is that true? Not true?
I don't know. I always see the original guy from the beginning with the guy with the glasses. I
Yeah.
forgot his name. I feel so bad. I'm embarrassed. I'm
Is it
crying
Nate?
so much about this place. I think maybe my dad
Nate or
definitely.
something? Yeah.
My dad is friends with him, but the sweet guy with the glasses he's still there, and they still have some of the original people from the Beverly, the one on Beverly Drive. But
Yeah, that back room was something. It's an
oh,
old shop. That was an old shop. So it's like you go through around boxes of wine and
and the
cheese.
smell
Yeah, and then you're
and
like,
the smell.
and you duck your head and you get there's like candles and old candle wax built up, and they serve you back there. It's so much fun. If you've ever had that experience, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Special.
talking about, Golden. Well, so this four concert series, you've already one show down, three to go.
Yes.
Um, One coming up on June 13th here. The first
Right around the
concert
corner.
was in May. We just missed it a few weeks back at the Beverly Cannon Gardens.
Yes.
And Golda, of course, wowed the capacity crowd and of course capacity at capacity. I wouldn't expect anything less.
I
Showcasing her beautiful voice and impressive vocal range. And as she just said, she's a proud Beverly Hills native and was honored by the city of Beverly Hills with a letter of recognition presented by Mayor Sharona Nazarian for your musical gifts and community spirits. Congratulations on that huge honor, Golda.
Thank you. Like I said, all this like warm welcoming back, I didn't expect it because I've been gone for basically almost a decade. So people didn't really know where I was. So it just meant so much. And, just being able to sing for my community and do a free concert for them and share, my joy for music with them. It was so wonderful. It was a really, really wonderful evening.
It's got to be a great aspect of what you do, a really
Yeah.
rewarding part of that. Well, when you were here last time, last summer, we talked about your early days in opera. We talked about how you fell in love with opera after attending a performance of the Magic Flute with your parents when you were just 4 years old. And I'm imagining you. You told the story of singing all the way home. I'm just imagining you in the back seat, kicking the back seat, and singing to your parents, and all that excitement that you must have had, and the new love for, you found something new that you loved, and now have made it your life. And then after high school, you left your hometown of LA and you went to study exclusively with the world-renowned soprano Barbara Fitoli in Italy, and you eventually returned home, which catches us up to last summer,
Yep.
to your homecoming. When did you know it was time to come home and turn all that training, all that you learned into performance? When did you know it was the right moment?
You know, I had this feeling because, I just I really missed my home. I'm very like I'm a real typical LA girl. I get matcha lattes. I suntan. I'm like when you think of like someone from LA, I'm like the stereotype. So after a while, I Italy will always have a special part in my heart, and I still have my strong connections to Italy, and I still have a lot of friends and family with whom I speak in Italy, a lot of special people there. But I missed my home. And I really wanted to give back to my community. And I really wanted everyone to remember, hey, I'm still here. I'm not gone for good, So I felt like it's time to come back and to be able to give back to my community. And the concert I had in the Beverly Cannon Gardens by the Mayborn, it was so wonderful because I saw so many people from my elementary school, so many elementary school teachers. I saw my first choir teacher, whom I absolutely adore. And I saw so many familiar faces, and it was so wonderful. And so it just really warmed my heart. So it was wonderful. So I just feel like I'm back I feel like I've been very blessed most of my life to be at the right time, at the right place with the right people. I feel like coming back to America last year, and especially this year, I felt like it was the right time, the right time and the right place.
It feels like, as an observer, that moment when you were, and I wasn't observing you at this moment, but when you were 4 and you fell in love with the music, it feels like, um, your path is sort of, your destiny has been laid out ahead of you in a pretty clear line. Would that
I
be
hope.
true?
I hope. I mean, I really do believe in destiny. I really believe that a lot. Like, I feel like each and every person has their own calling and their own talent and something that they could give back to, their community and their world. So I hope that happens. I really do feel though that like things happen for a certain reason, and I feel like many of the people I met, I feel like it was destiny, um
You
especially
feel
right
like
now.
you had a
Bill.
marked path in a
Yeah,
way on that
yeah,
destiny?
call it destiny, call it whatever, I think so, like especially right now, Bill. He's one of the most amazing coaches and amazing people I know. I mean, we have Bill and I, it's hilarious how much we have. I was telling him today because I just actually, before I came on call with you, I was at his house. I was having class with him, and I was like, Bill, you and I are like the same person. And he said, that means you're an old bald gay man. I'm like, no, not in that sense, but we have such a similar personality. And I think I'm so grateful for that because I felt like I really met him, like you said, in a destiny type wise. I felt like I met him at the right time in the right moment. And I hopefully New York might be in my destiny. I don't know. I've always loved
Mhm.
New York. So if there could
Mhm.
be an opportunity to come back here soon, why not?
Is there an Earth Cafe in New York?
No,
We,
no.
we need to get
I
one
need
out
to,
there.
yeah, I need to convince
Oh,
the
how
old
can there
man to
not
get
be an
one out
Earth?
here.
What'd you say?
I need to convince the old man to get one out here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so like looking back at all, this path, this destiny, everything has happened for a reason. One one beautiful miracle has surpassed another. You have progressed as an artist, you've matured, you've grown. Standing where we're at today, it's basically the eve of your concert series throughout Los Angeles over the summer. What stage in your career are you at during this moment? Do you look at that? Do you say, I'm where I'm supposed to be right now, and it is what?
I always like to think that like I said before, I always like to, I don't think I'm at any certain stage. I definitely feel like I have a feeling that there's momentum, and I'm
Hmm.
very grateful for that. And I'm very humbled by that, because I feel like once there's momentum, that means you better get your stuff together. You know what I mean? So it's time to just kind of narrow it. That's why I'm here working with Bill so much. It's just narrow in, focus on your craft, make sure everything's perfect, head down, and just get to work. um I always will consider myself learning. I feel like every stage, even when even if you're like a diva and you're the superstar singer of the opera world, you can always learn something new. So I feel like I'm just taking this momentum with so much gratitude and happiness, and just working at my craft, and ready to hear new opinions and learn something, because it's always a learning opportunity.
So if I'm hearing right, there's this destiny, there's this path that you knew you were headed towards or down, but you don't. You're almost letting. You're almost more open. You're kind of receiving what will come, and almost you have this confidence or this security within that it's meant to be when it's meant to be, because that's how it's
Yes.
always gone for you with your career. It's a lot of hard work in between and being ready, but it's
Mhm.
also rather than this checklist
A
and
hundred
what's
percent.
next and not appreciating the moment you're in. You're kind of letting it come to you, knowing that it's going to be the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, I 100%. I feel like it's kind of like trusting the universe, trusting in the process. And I feel like not just in my professional career, but also in my personal life, it's been like this. Like, in the most unexpected times, I met the most unexpected people, that and it's just like you always have to be open to the abundance of the universe. And I really believe in manifestation. I really believe in positive thinking, and I really believe in positive vibration, because I feel as though, like, if you're not positive and open, like, even sometimes when something might happen in your personal life where you feel like, oh, I wish it went a different way, or it didn't go that way. Only after that fact, or after that thing has happened, you look back and you're like, you know what, I'm actually happy it happened that way. Because I
Mhm.
feel like when you're positive, and when you're trusting in the abundance of the universe, you realize that, yeah, maybe at that time you wish it was different, but there was something better that was going to come along, you know what I mean, or something that was more right for you you know
Mhm.
like, for example, I recently didn't get into I was in a competition, and I got to the semifinals, and I did really well. I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna get in the finals 100%. And I didn't get into the finals, and I was kind of like, when that first happened, I was kind of sad. I was a little bit upset about that. I was like, oh, dang it. I was like, man, I should have gotten in the finals. I was so good, whatever. I'm maybe a little bit cocky, but whatever. But when I realized that the final day happened, when it was the day that it was supposed to be the finals, I was sick on that day. And I said, thank goodness. I was like, I should be grateful. Maybe it was in my destiny, because maybe because then what if I had to do the finals and I was sick and I didn't have a voice,
Mhm.
So it's just, maybe, just trust in the process, and trust in the universe, and have that faith that, something things are going to happen when they're meant to happen.
It's a really great outlook, a
Yeah.
great way to look at things. And when you look back at your life so far and what you have accomplished, if you ever doubt yourself, you just go back and say it's always worked. I'm
Yeah.
getting where I need to go. What do you think you've learned this last year since we last spoke as an artist about yourself?
Oh,
Any big lessons? Any big things, milestones pop up?
never underestimate a piece you have in front of you. Never, even if it's like 3 pages and you think it's easy, never underestimate it. I started singing as like almost like a side job for a church in my community. They have me come as a soloist, and it's wonderful. I love it. It's a wonderful job, but there's been pieces that they've just been hymns, and you could say, oh well, it's only like not even 1 page, it's only 2 verses. Don't underestimate it. It might be really complicated. And some of the times those church pieces that I didn't think anything about were actually pretty complicated. So yeah, don't underestimate a piece, new repertoire, or judge a book by its cover, maybe a piece by its contents.
Mhm.
Yeah, by its measures. I don't know, not by its contents, by
Good
measures.
advice.
Yeah,
Not for
definitely.
me, since I won't be singing anytime soon, but for those out there listening that are singers,
Yeah.
how have you grown this last year?
I feel like I've definitely grown in the sense that I've become a little bit more confident in myself. And I think that's really great. And I've always had a little bit of audition anxiety. And I feel like I realized with this type of mindset that what's meant to be is meant to be. I kind of got over it. And I feel like for a singer, audition anxiety is something that, I mean, I have my best friend is a musical theater singer, and I have a best friend that's also another best friend that's an opera singer. I have so many talented friends around me that I'm so happy to have. But yeah, you can, unfortunately, we can get nervous and we can have butterflies, but I think just trusting in the process and know that what's meant for you will happen. So don't fret over auditions, and don't get worked up or too anxious about them.
Well, speaking of awards and winning awards, when you were 15, you were the youngest grand prize winner in classical voice for your performance at the Los Angeles Music Center Spotlight Awards. Wow. When you win an award so young, how do you process that feeling and how do you process where to go from there? Or are you just so young and you're just enjoying yourself and it
I think
doesn't?
I was just enjoying I didn't get it, you know what I mean? And it was really beautiful because the Spotlight Awards is this really prestigious uh, you know, arts contest, singing and performing contest, but not just for singers, but also for dancers and musicians, in California, in Los Angeles, especially in Southern California, for high school singers and high school students. And I was the youngest at that time. I don't know about now, but I was the youngest person to win in classical voice. And I was so pumped up. I don't think I really knew what was going on. I still have the award. It's so beautiful. And I was just like, yeah, I'm singing at Walt Disney Concert Hall. Yippee. I didn't get it. And I think
Sounds like you got it. That's about all. I mean, you didn't get how big that
I
was,
didn't get the
what an
gravity.
honor,
I didn't get the gravity of it, but I was
but you
just having
had
a lot of
fun.
fun.
You had fun. That's good.
I took
I think that's
photos
good.
outside. I still have the photos. Like, woo!
Was your makeup good that day too?
I didn't wear makeup until, this is actually crazy. I didn't wear makeup until I was 18. So I just came out with a bare face, and when I look at that, I'm like, good for you. You were confident. I wouldn't do that now personally. I always have to have a little bit of makeup on, but yeah.
You said that you want the beauty of the music to speak for itself,
Mm,
but there has to be a little bit of the artist of you and the beautiful music that you sing for others. Have you stopped and considered how your music represents you and what is it saying when it speaks for you?
that's a really, really good question. I mean, obviously the genre speaks for itself, as in, like, an opera singer should have, I think, a normal person should have a certain look, should have a certain aura. Um, I say that I like to let the music speak for itself, in the sense that I don't want to do anything that like kind of like do anything to like disturb the music or do anything too crazy or too, you know, artsy fartsy. So kind of like sticking to the score. However, I do think the beauty of different opera singers, and not just opera singers but different singers, is that when you have a piece that you're singing and it's not your own piece, you put your own rendition to it and you put your own touch. Like for example, what wasn't it, Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I think the way she sang it was so different than how, and Prince was, you know, that was his song, but her rendition of it was so spectacular and so fantastic and different than what Prince did. So I think it's something very you know, very, very personal to the person, you know. So
Hmm. To each person that hears you.
each person that hears you, it's completely different and personal to it. So I think that's Jeremiah, I'm so sorry.
So well, you've got concerts coming up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about them,
Yeah,
Golda? So
definitely.
the Angelic Voice concert, what a great cause for that.
I, you know, as a Californian, especially as an Angelino, are we called Angelinos?
I think so. I think
Yeah,
that's what
okay.
I've heard it's called, and, and
As
many other things.
and many, many other things I don't know, but Angelino is what I'm gonna call
I don't
myself.
think we can say those on the radio, though.
Yeah. As an Angelino, you know, one of the saddest, I think, parts of our newer history, what were the fires that we had in January. So I think being able to support, because you know, St. Monica's Catholic Church, all the proceed is going to them, and they're really good in working with the first responders and helping rebuild, you know, the Pacific Palisades and Malibu communities, which have been devastated. I mean, many places. I had a one of my best friends in middle school lived in the Pacific Palisades,
Mhm.
and I remember we used to go to the Palisades Village all the time, and we used to go hiking at Rogers Park, and we saw Will Rogers' home and with the horses.
Mhm.
It's just a shame. So I feel like being able to do this and knowing that the proceeds are going to go to, you know, rebuilding the community, it really means a lot to me.
Yeah, that's special.
Really means a
That's
lot.
really. Were you in LA during the fires?
Oh, I was in LA during the fires, and it was something that was really, really scary. I still have videos of seeing like huge clouds of smoke. I was driving. I'm gonna sound like the Californians from SNL now, but I was driving down Beverly Boulevard, my car, and I remember vividly seeing a bunch of smoke where the Getty is. And like, you know where the Beverly Center is. So you're on Beverly, you see, you know, there's La Cienega and there's a Beverly Center, which is a
Yeah.
mall. And you can see the hills where the Getty Center is. And I never saw so much smoke. It looked like something from an apocalyptic film. My car every day was covered in ashes, and I'm in Beverly Hills. I'm not even in, I didn't even, fortunately, I didn't have to evacuate, but I wasn't in, you know, Brentwood or the Pacific Palisades or even in Laurel Canyon, because there was a Laurel Canyon fire, and there was also a fire in the valley. But just the amount of ashes in the air, it was really something devastating. I still can't believe it.
I haven't driven through Malibu, but the PCH is one of my favorite places to drive, and
Oh,
I heard
I
they
love
just
this.
reopened it. But I
Oh
saw
yeah.
photos and of the homes burnt. You know, it's so sad, and the businesses that were lost, and
It
so
is.
many people because we really are a big city, but we are a small community, right? I mean, you know, when people think of LA, they think of this big sprawling urban city, but we really are a bunch of little communities, and we it seems like we all know each other like you would in a small town.
We
Uh,
do.
so we're
It's
all
really
affected.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's
But
bad.
I haven't driven down PCH recently. And I don't know if I'd want to, because I think it's just gonna make me sad going past Malibu and thinking about the Pacific Palisades. You know, like I used to be there, and my best friend lived, you know, in the Pacific Palisades, and I used to be at her house every weekend. Like
Mhm.
so it's like, you know,
Mm.
It's a shame.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you what you're doing with the angelic voice concert. Thank
It's
you
my
so much for
pleasure. It's
that.
the least I can do.
Um, Golda Zahra in concert at the BroadStage in Santa Monica. You're returning home to
Homecoming number
your
two. Yeah,
homecoming
like
number two.
last year, but this is two. Yeah. Yeah, that is going to be really fun because, like I said earlier on, I never sing. If I have this type of a concert, you're never going to hear the same thing. So I have completely different repertoire. I'm going to be singing some musical theater and I'm going to be singing some opera. And I'm actually doing something very special because my mom's favorite movie is The Sound of Music. So
Oh,
I want to kind of like pay homage to my mom by singing a couple of songs from The Sound of Music. And I feel like a lot of us Americans, we love The Sound of Music. That's one of my favorite movies personally. And I love Julie Andrews. So I don't know if I could do her justice, but I'm gonna do my very best.
well, I have a feeling you're going to do great.
Thank you. But
Well,
that's gonna
I'm
be a
gonna
lot of fun.
and I'm gonna see you at that one again this year as well. So
I'd
I'll
love to have
come
you. Let
down.
me
Yeah,
know, and I will make sure that we can meet in person this time, not like last time that I
I'm
was
gonna
like
I'm gonna make sure that my flowers are the biggest. Maybe that's how I'll get
you can
through.
maybe, yeah, yeah, throw them on the
Yeah,
stage. And
should throw them at you.
I'm
Um,
good at catching.
yes. Okay, and then on August 16th, the Walt Disney Concert Hall. How great is it to
Oh,
perform there?
it's so much fun. And we have an all-star cast. We have a truly all-star cast. Nina Warren, who's a fabulous soprano, which she's one of the Turandot sopranos. So I'm so grateful to be able to work with such wonderful singers, so yeah, super excited.
That's August 16th at
Yeah.
7 p.m. Yeah. Okay. Well, and tickets, by the way, don't go on sale for that one until June 15th. So you mark your calendars so that you can get them as soon as they go on sale.
I'm
Uh,
hoping it's going to be a booked show. So yeah, as soon as it goes on sale, run.
let's make sure it's a booked show. Everybody get out there. What a great way to end summer too in August is go see this. I'd love to see you there as well. So, do you want to thank anybody on your team? You've got such an amazing team that you work with, Golda.
Oh, well, I definitely want to thank you for having me again. I always love being able to talk with you about music and also we talked about the cheese store, about some food, and not only I love it. It's a plethora of
About
topics.
tacos and
Superica,
Super
pork
Rica.
tacos, guacamole, things that are close to my heart.
By the way, can I ask you this question? Because it was curious to me. Are you not, as a soprano, as a singer, are you not able to eat, are you not supposed to eat spicy food? I
Yeah,
didn't, why is that?
spicy food because it irritates the vocal cords. And
Okay.
also something that you kind of have to stay away from, at least for me, I don't know about other singers, is chocolate because it causes phlegm.
Okay.
I don't want to
I
sing
see
through
that.
phlegm. It's not fun. You always have clearing your throat, it's not fun.
No.
I love Mexican food and I love Thai food. So I was thinking of like the chili relleno that they have at Costa Rica, and that's definitely not because it has cheese and chilies. That is definitely not something you're going to see me eating before singing. But
Well, how long do you go on this desert, this spicy food desert where you don't eat any of it for
so
before the
sad.
performance? Like, do you have to stay away from it for a week or 2 weeks or
No, I'm not gonna say 2 weeks. I'm a
few
little bit
days?
less conservative. I would say 3 days.
That's your
three
limit.
days. I can't. But you know what? I don't want to upset anyone, but I love steaks. Like I have a thing for steaks. So if I don't have spicy food, I'll have a nice rare steak and I'll be very happy.
You're in a good steak city right now, New York. There's some great
Oh,
steakhouses. I hope your dad takes you out.
Oh, Jeremiah, I'm going with my coach Bill tonight and actually with Nina, our Turandot. I'm gonna meet her for the first time. I'm so excited. We're going to this wonderful prime rib restaurant
Do you know
called
what it's called?
La Tête d'Or by Daniel Boulud.
Oh, wow. That's gonna be
And
great.
oh, I've been there already. It's fabulous. I'm salivating thinking of this prime rib.
Now I'm salivating here in Santa Barbara, and I can't get to Daniel Boulud's
Sorry. But
steakhouse.
next time you come to New York, make sure to stop by it. It is really something special.
All right, Golda. I had such a nice time talking to you, and I'm thanking you for your time. You're a
Thank you for
busy girl
having me.
there in New York City, and I'll catch up with you here in about a month at your concert.
And
Last,
hopefully I can catch up to and come up to Santa Barbara and we can have Super together.
yes, please, you and your dad or yourself anytime. You're welcome here always. This will be your next homecoming, Santa
Yeah,
Barbara.
Super Rica, yes,
Love
100%.
Super. Okay, I wanted to thank Cheryl Fernstein
Oh,
putting us together
I
today.
love Cheryl.
I
She's
wanted
fabulous.
to, yeah, and Victor, who's sent me such
Victor
great art
Borowski.
files. If
Yeah.
you're watching this interview on YouTube, the photo behind me, the photo was taken by who was it again?
Jenny Park.
Okay, and
Jenny Park.
Victor
She's a
worked
very
on the,
talented photographer.
um, so yeah,
And Victor
and
Borowski
then
is
you're,
also a very talented photographer as well.
yeah, his work's amazing. I was looking at his website. I'm going to put all that copy in the copy in YouTube and the podcast so that you can check them out if you like as well. Give them some love and big love to your father as well, Shalom. I always appreciate him. He's such a
We're
great
sending
man.
the love back.
Yes. All right. So last question for you. Your compass, it's always headed home. Is it pointed in the right direction right now?
100%. I am open to the universe and I feel the abundance 100%. My intuition is going to take me to the right places anyway, so
Yes, and I hope that we can all be there, watch, and come along
I
for
can't
the
wait.
ride and enjoy. Thank you so much for your music. We're gonna go out right now. We're gonna play um so you sent me two new songs. This is Ombra, my food.
Ombra My Fu, yes. This is
And
a beautiful piece, actually.
do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, this piece is about it is literally about the love of a love for nature because it's talking about this it's from Handel Xerxes and the character is appreciating this beautiful tree's shade. So
It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Enjoy it and enjoy Golda in concert coming up this summer. She's got 3 shows. Golda, thank you.
thank you.
Communicate, but listen more and evolve. Everybody have a great day.